Hello, 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 radiant woman, and welcome 2023. Welcome 2023. Here we are, stepping into a new year that feels, for me, this year feels more alive and more pregnant with possibility. Oh, and I'm so excited to share this podcast with you because this is one that I've been holding on to for a few weeks, just letting it marinate. And how do I want to bring this forth and share this gift? And what I decided is, how about if I just share from my heart, right? Why don't I just share it from my heart and see what comes, what is alive in this moment. So I'm really just calling on all of me to just be here with you and share something deeply powerful and so profound. So I may have shared this before, but 2022 has been, or was, because it's now in the past, but I want to share that 2022 was this powerful container for me, where I went deep inward to do the deepest level work I've ever done in my life. And that says a lot, because I've been doing deep work for over 2 decades. And this, what I have to share today is the result of being willing to dive in and go deep and meet life in the way I encourage my clients to meet life, to see it all as an opportunity for expansion and growth. And so how I want to share what I have to share with you today is to really not just share what happened, but kind of share how it happened, and in the best way I can, because it's so alive in me now, and I'm just reaping the benefits of the gifts of this profound revelation. Really, it's a revelation. So I'll share what it is. The topic is that I have healed within myself what feels like one of the most important relationships in my life. And how I know this relationship is profoundly important is because it has been the most challenging and difficult and at times excruciatingly painful relationship of my life. And that is my relationship with my mother. And why I say that I've healed my relationship with my mother inside myself is because that's the only place I can heal that relationship, right? Is within me. My world is a reflection of what's happening inside of me. And I understand this more profoundly and more deeply than I have ever understood it in my life. And I've been teaching it for some time. So, yeah. So, how did it happen? How did it happen? Well, hmm. So, about a little over a year ago, a woman showed up in my life, in my field, let's say. And this woman, hmm, she challenged me profoundly, meaning she triggered the fuck out of me. She triggered the fuck out of me. And um hmm, and every part of me just wanted to run. That's how profoundly she triggered me. Um but I didn't run. I could have run, but I didn't run. Instead, I took a lot of deep breaths and I leaned in to really see, how is this woman here for me? How is she here for me? If all of life is here in service to my growth, how is this woman here for me? And hmm, so I stayed. I stayed and allowed for this woman to stay within my sphere, in my field. And it wasn't like I had to meet up with her every single day, but it was enough. It was enough to really challenge me. And the times that I did meet up with her, I could feel all the feels of deep triggering. And by leaning in, I don't mean that I leaned in to pursue a deeper relationship with her. She was in my field, that was enough. I leaned in by doing my work, by using all the tools that I've gained over the past really 3 decades of personal work. And I just went for it. I just went for it. Um, I went deep into examining the trigger itself, unpacking what is this? And I turned to Byron Katie work and did pages and pages of, how is this? What is this? Questioning my judgments, my fears, my anxieties that were coming up. And I did shadow work, deep shadow work. And I did this work for over a year. Yeah, over a year. And it took that long and that level of unpacking. And that's how I came to discover that this particular person was triggering my mother wound. She was triggering the very thing that the very relationship I had with my mother. And that's why it was so triggering. That's why it was so triggering, because it was important. It was so important. And I knew that if I were to run away from this work, that it would come back around. And doing the work and unpacking, I realized that I have met multiple characters in my life inviting me in to do this deeper work. And it wasn't until this particular relationship that was so incredibly triggering that I finally said yes to it, Mhm. And so like I say, it was a lot of layers and to get through. And it wasn't just a one thing that got me there. I needed to go through the depths of layers on paper, through embodiment work, and through the shadow work to finally get to this place where I came face to face with my judgments of her. And I realized, wow, I am judging her so profoundly. And it was interesting because before I had a chance to create my own relationship with this person, I had others with their stories about her that kind of informed how I interacted with her. So I already had some judgments that weren't even mine. And so I came face to face with these judgments, high level judgments and projection. And what I realized was that what I was judging out there was also in me. And so the gift of seeing what I was seeing in her was to realize that she is a mirror for something inside of me that needs to be healed. And this was a terrifying place to get to, because let me tell you, the judgments and the projections that I had were not pretty. They were not pretty. So I turned my attention deep within to find where inside of me does this being live? Who is she mirroring inside of me? And through a high level, and this is advanced work, right? This is advanced work. Through a high level embodiment practice, I was able to find in me the shadow that she was projecting for me onto this screen, this field in front of me. So what I was seeing was not her per se. What I was seeing was myself. You ever heard that saying, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. And that's a quote. It's not mine. And I'll have to put in the show notes who that quote is from, because a part of me is wanting to say that it's Anais Nin, but I'm not sure. So you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. And this is a deep, 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 profound truth, a truth that I don't think most of us want to face, is that the darkness that we see outside is also inside. And until we can face that in ourselves and heal that in ourselves, will we begin to project a different world. So they all say how to heal the world is to go inside and heal yourself first. That which you judge is you, right? Mhm. If you spot it, you got it. These are all quotes, but they're all 100% true. They're all 100% true. So I embodied this dark peace inside of me. That was the very embodied version of the judgments that I had for her. So in essence, I embodied, dare I say, hatred. Hatred. And I allowed myself to feel that in its fullness in me, through my body, to embody the projected judgment that I had of this woman. And as I did that, in the depths of it, I could see why she felt so guarded. Because that's what I was experiencing in her. I was experiencing this kind of fake sort of just this really fake version of her. Like I knew that she wasn't showing me the truth. I didn't trust her. I knew she was deeply protected and guarded, and I didn't trust it. I felt like there was a viciousness in that. And so in facing that viciousness, which is my judgment, right? Judgment is vicious, and that's what the ego does. It judges. It judges to keep us safe. But in that judgment, it separates us from each other. So as I really came to terms with what I was doing with my judgment, with what judgment does in essence, right? Separates. I could understand why she would have such a fierce, protective boundary against me, right? And simultaneously, I understood that my judgment is my own protection. So I got to see that I have that too. That I too have that protection that she has. And what happened with that level of acknowledgement? I had compassion for her. I had compassion. Compassion entered the room. Because I was able to have compassion for myself, that I have this level of protection inside of me, right? That's been there inside of me for my whole life, right? Why? Because I needed it. It was how I survived my childhood, basically. It's how I survived my teens. It's how I survived being a teenager in a world where I felt alone and unsupported. Mhm. It's how I survived going out into the world on my own, feeling so alone, feeling so deeply alone. And so the next time I saw this woman, I saw her with very different eyes. I walked into the room and I looked at her as if for the first time, as if for the first time. And I could feel the compassion in my heart. And she felt it too. And it was immediate. And it's like we connected eyes and she dropped that veil and showed me who she is underneath that protective layer. Mm. And it was beautiful. It was miraculous. My mind was blown. It's like, it's not just like, tears came into my eyes. And I shared with her, I see you. And she knew what I was talking about. And we embraced. And it was beautiful. Her guards were down. And she showed me her innocence. She showed me her innocence. And that changed my life, that moment. It changed my life. Something big was happening and I knew it. I knew it. I wasn't sure quite in that moment what this all meant for me, but I knew that I had embraced myself at a deep level and I was changing the world that I see. It was in what A Course in Miracles calls a miracle. And A Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a shift in perception from fear to love. And it changes your perception from very narrow to very expansive. That's what a miracle is. It was a miracle. I opened my heart and I opened my vision for a new possibility. And I'm deeply rooted in A Course in Miracles. I'd done the work for years, but this was the first time I feel like I saw what those teachings meant at the deepest level. I saw a shift in perception. I saw myself differently. I saw her differently. And my world changed because now, what does that mean for the world? If what I thought out there was downright evil, isn't, that it's innocent, that it's just my judgment of it, my fear of it, that makes it evil. That creates a mischievous world, a defiant world, a world that isn't safe. So in that moment, I created a deep level of safety within myself and within the world I live in. I realized that I create a safe world for myself through how I choose to see the world. This is deeply profound, and I can't go into the depths of what all this means. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it because this is mind-blowing. This is mind blowing. Good stuff, right? So after that moment and the days that followed, and the reflections in my journaling, I realized that this was the exact same um, dynamic that I had with my mother. That I had been judging my mother for a very, very long time, probably from the time of being a teen, right? Because I felt so alone. I felt so alone, and I judged my mother for not being there in the way I felt that I needed her to be there. She wasn't able to, excuse me, she wasn't able to be there in the way that I needed her to be there. And I judged her for it harshly. And yeah, I judged her for a lot of years, for my whole life, basically, from teenager to now, and I'm in my 50s. So listen, this was so profound for me to see that the mother I was seeing, or the woman I was seeing, was actually a reflection or a defense against my own judgments, right? She was putting up a shield to protect herself from my judgments that she wasn't good enough, that she wasn't good enough for me. And it made so much sense. It made so much sense. Of course, she would have her defenses up around me because I was judging her. Even when I tried not to judge her, even when I did my work for a long time, I knew that I knew that how you see your mother is how you see yourself. I knew these things, uh, cognitively, but that doesn't mean that I was able to embody a forgiveness at the level that it needed to be embodied in order for true healing to happen. So I realized I've been judging my mother, and she has been guarding herself, protecting herself against me. And so I got up the nerve to have a conversation with her, and I sat her down and I apologized. I apologized for judging her all these years, that I know that she did the best that she could, and that was enough. That I love who I am. I'm grateful for who I am, and that she did her job exactly right. I did get what I needed, because obviously, right, I had to go through everything I went through in this life to get where I am now, and I freaking love my life. I'm so freaking abundant. I am so grateful for all that I have. Why would I want to take any of it back? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I love what I do, and I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do with women at the level that I do it had I not been through everything that I've been through in my life. Had I not had 1,000 deaths and rebirths, had I not experienced the depths of so many things, and having not had to do that alone and navigate that alone, I wouldn't be who I am without any of it. So, in essence, I am eternally grateful for the mother that I had, who had her own reasons for having a protective bubble around herself all these years. I have no idea what she experienced as a child that brought that 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 created that level of protection around herself. Mm. But the exact mother I had, I needed in order to do what I needed to do alone on my own. And I'm so freaking strong. So freaking strong because of it. I'm so powerful because of it. And I'm so fucking real because of it. And women trust me with their vulnerability because of it. So this was next level work for me to forgive my mother in and ultimately there was nothing to forgive. There's nothing to forgive because she did it right. I needed it this way. And in some level, I believe my soul signed up for this high level experience of this life to go through everything I've been through. And it's been a lot. It has been a lot. It has been a ride. But because of that ride, I'm able to live in a powerful way and in a glorious, joy-filled way. I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm allowing myself, I'm free. I am free. I'm free from the deep level work I did this past year. And this wasn't the only thing, but this is the one I'm sharing today. And I'm looking forward to sharing the others. But this one was a breakthrough that has blown everything, has blown my mind. It's blown my mind. So my mother, she saw my eyes of love. She felt my dropping the guns, right? she felt that I was dropping my ammunition and that I was seeing her through her shield. And what happened was I could literally see her shoulders dropping and her breathing. And it was like a shield that had been up melted before my very eyes. And for the first time, I got to see my mother in her innocence, in her beauty, in her, God, her creative genius, in her like joyful, childlike brilliance. And it was amazing. And ever since then, and it's been many months now, we have begun a new relationship together. We've begun a new relationship that is so delightful. And she's showing me her world. She's introducing me to her friends who love her. They love her because she's delightful and so interesting and unique. She's just this fabulous fairy being. And I'm so much like her in so many ways. And it's been an absolute miracle. It's changed our relationship. It's changed my life. So, yeah, that's what I want to share with you. I have a new relationship with my mother. That sounds like a simple thing, but it's not. It's not. I turned 53. Yeah, you start to lose track. I turned 53 this year, and just a couple few weeks ago, and it's the best year of my life. It's the best year of my life. Yeah, because I feel like I'm finally able to receive the abundance that I have, to feel the level of joy that has been here and available for me the whole time. And I feel like I'm able to live the life that I've been offering to others, right? That I've been walking others through. I'm able to fully have it for myself for the first time. So I'm in deep gratitude. I'm in deep gratitude for your having been here and listened to this story. And I hope that it inspires you in some way. I feel like there are no mistakes. So if you're here listening to this, you're meant to listen to this. And there is some magic in here for you. And I believe that I must have some codes for you, and they're being transmitted through whatever it is you're taking away. And so that makes me feel really excited. Yes, it's all, it's all here for us. Whatever it is that we're listening to or experiencing in our life has something for us. So, so there it is. So there it is. And what else that I want to share with you also, that for the very first time, I'm putting together a women's program called the Heroine's Journey. And the Heroine's Journey is a journey that I've been walking women through for years now, one-on-one. And I'm finally putting together a group program for women to do it together. It's a way that you can partially be guided by me, and also go at your own pace, so to speak. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to have the best of the best tools that I've learned over the past and gained and collected over the past 2 to 3 decades. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of great stuff in it. It's coming up in February, but I'm putting a link up for early bird pricing on this program. So now is the time. If you're interested in big transformation, if you're feeling stuck in some way in your life, if you feel like you're holding yourself back in some way, and you really feel like you're done with that, you're feeling done, and you're wanting something real that can really move you to the next level of who you're meant to be in this life, then I encourage you to sign up, and sign up now with early bird pricing. So I'm going to have a link in the show notes here to my website, which you can click on the page for the Heroine's Journey. You can check it out. There's a little bit written there on what this journey is. I'll be sharing more over the course of this month. But now is the time to sign up at this low rate. And the beauty of doing this work together, if you're somebody who tends to really want to do it on your own, I feel like we're stepping into a time where we need each other. We need each other. And so doing this with a group of women who are also doing the work, you learn from their work, right? And their breakthroughs. And it's really powerful what can happen in a group setting. So plus it's a lot more affordable than working with me one-on-one, but there will be an option for working with me one-on-one in accompanying this program. There'll be an option for that too, so you can both do the deep level program with community, but also have the one-on-one support. But anyway, there'll be more about that on the landing page, so I'll put that in the show notes. And thank you for listening, and I'm so excited to dive into more with you. So more is coming. I have more to share, and I look forward to our next meeting.